If you guys could just give me, I'm going to switch to the other direction. I had to call Patrick because I couldn't get my camera to record in this orientation. Of course, I start panicking. Like my circa 1990 telephone. I refuse to give up my telephone. And I think we should be ready. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I hope you can, or maybe throw in a comment and hopefully you guys can hear me. I think you should be able to hear me. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to be working on, this was, oh, there you are. Sound is good. Yay. Hi, Miss Susan. So here is this is the last one. And I was this morning during the live feed, I was sewing on my buttons. I just love Wonderfill has like amazing specialty threads. This is Glamour. And this one is Dazzle. It's a little bit thicker. So this is an 8-weight thread, not something that's going to run through your machine. This one here, I think, is a 12-weight. So also very heavy for the machine, but you can kind of get away with it. Delta, I gave up my landline for maybe like 3 months. And then I was like, Patrick, I gotta have it. I need my landline back. And so then he let me get the landline again, but I just have to have it. So, and I love these because they just add a little bit of sparkle and fun. And I just tied on my button with that and left it like a little bit frayed. And then I put a little bit of glue on there so it wouldn't come undone. Look at the Rhinestone Queen. And yes, I am talking about me. I am in love with rhinestones. While we were doing the live feed, I was looking at this going, oh, maybe I should rhinestone this. And maybe I should add something to the center. And maybe I should put some rhinestones here. Like every eye needs a rhinestone. So maybe I'll add some more to this. So this was the last one that we did. I have the other ones hanging up at the store. If you haven't done Quilty and you want to do it, I would get it. It's really sweet. They're easy to get through. This would make great like wall hangings anywhere in your house for the holidays, or these would be great giveaways. If you want to give a present to somebody, and there's 4 of them that you'll complete when you do this. This it's called a Quilty Little Christmas Wall Gallery. So today's project we're going to work on is we are going to work on gingerbread cookies. And I was looking at this and I'm thinking this is going to be really fast because this is all done in they're 4x4 designs, right? And then, oh, we have to do borders. Didn't even think about that. But I'm going to be doing these in the 5x5 hoop. And you know the hoop I love. I absolutely love. Let me get rid of my Thanksgiving stuff. I absolutely love my magnetic hoop. If you haven't used this yet, I would recommend maybe getting one. They're pricey, but they're not super pricey if you get it from A1. And I think we do have a couple extras, or we have some that are coming. I should put it like that. We have some that are going to be coming because we ordered more. We had another coupon that we get, and we ordered more. So I'm going to go ahead and hoop this up with muslin. And I always use muslin because I like the way it feels. And these magnets are like, you can pull them off by hand. This is the low profile magnetic hoop. So I like the way it feels. I think at this point, it's probably more economical too. And this is not what you want to use it is not stabilizer. I always like to say that too, because it is not stabilizer. It is just something I use as the base for my embroidery, because when you're using fabric pieces that have shape flex on them, and you're using batting, that provides enough stabilization that you don't have to worry about having like no-show mesh. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on, and then we'll get ready. So I like to kind of put that on and then pull this a little bit taut, not tight, but taut. Oop. And then I'll just kind of I don't like it bunchy. Don't get your finger under here because you can still get a decent blood blister. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slide this on my machine. I have a bobbin in there already, and I've got everything all set. I feel a little out of practice because I haven't been stitching any Kimberbell for a little while. Sometimes I feel a little out of sync, so let me get in the groove. I got to get in the groove. Okay, hang on. And I also need to put this up on my other, here we go. Ooh. Which one are we going to do first? Here we go. And I'll put this up on my computer so I can see your comments as well. I'm not really seeing them right now. Background quilting. We're going to go ahead and do Gingerbread 1, Christmas 16. So it looks like 2 of them are Christmas 16, and then 2 of them are Wavy 9. And the other thing that's I thought would be good is to do this in your 6x10 hoop, because you could do 2 at a time. You could probably put all of these in maybe your 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop. Might not be a ton of room, so maybe go for the 10 by 10. So Christmas 16. That was what I said, right? And it wants the horizontal design. Horizontal usually comes before the vertical if it doesn't say it. And there's 2 by 4 by 4s. Pick the first one. So here is my horizontal. And we'll go ahead and set that, which look how sweet that is. And we're going to go ahead and let's add the embroidery design, which is Gingerbread 1. Gingerbread 1. Which is going to be, is this the little, is that a little boy or a little girl? Or this is the one with the flourishes on her head or his head. Or, so I'm going to come in here, and I usually separate it to background quilting and then the regular embroidery files. So I'm going to come in here, and we're doing gingerbread cookies. We've done the other ones. Here we go. That's the gingerbread with the little flourishes on the head. And it's going to be centered, so you don't move anything here. I'm going to choose my hoop size, so I'm going to go up to my settings, and I'm going to select my 5 by 7. And let me check my other settings. It's going to automatically set. I like to stitch it the fastest, but when we put the hoop on, if you're using these magnetic hoops, it's going to lower the speed just because that's what's safest for the hoop. I'm going to bump this up because you have all of this unused muslin or stabilizer. So before I do that, let's check and see if I have a bobbin in, which I do. It doesn't have a ton of thread in there, but I'm going to pop this in here. Once you put that on and I go over here, it is not going to allow me to go outside of my embroidery field. So I'm going to go edit, move. Oh, wait. Let's hit embroidery because I want to go to my other screen where it combines. So I'm going to touch embroidery. And in this screen, I'm going to go layout, move. And it won't allow you to go outside your embroidery field when you have your hoop on. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And let's get ready to stitch. Oh, let's go here too. This is the button that you're going to touch. That's going to allow you to go forward and backward stitches and skip steps, which is what we do here. We are all about being efficient embroiderers, which it's the only thing I'm efficient about in my life. It's the only thing. I'm so not efficient. Okay, turquoise is going to be your placement stitch. I already have, what's in here? I have medium brown because I was using that for my, Thanksgiving, the Janine Babbage Thanksgiving thing that I was doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just stitch this. Let me get my spray tent and my spray. I had a girlfriend over last night, and she's new to embroidery, and like we've been friends for years. And she's like, and what's this spray that you use? And I just like gave her a can of it. And then like I had all this thread that I wasn't using, so I just gave her a big box of thread. It was just kind of nice to pass stuff on. So let me go ahead and get this out. Did I label this? Let's see. Let's see what we need for the first one. We need the background fabric and then your gingerbread felt. I didn't even cut my felt. I'm just going to be using a big piece. I have extra pieces that I could use as well. So all we're going to need for this is we are going to need our background fabric, which is, let's see if I have different ones. There's the polka dot and there's the tiny, tiny polka dot. This one is going to be, let's see what fabric. Gingerbread one. That's going to be the tiny, tiny polka dot. So you're looking for this one, which is going to be, do you see the tiny polka dot? Tiny polka dot, and just grab a 4x4. I think they're all the same. So I'm going to grab both of these. Let me give them a shot of spray. I'm a sprayer, and I show this off. I like to use my KK 100 and then my dime spray tent, which is right there set up, and it is nasty. I need like a new piece of cardboard in there. So let me give this, you're going to spray the wrong side, which is the side that's a little bit nubbier. See those like bumps? And I'm going to spray the back of this. Make sure you don't have any like threads on the back like that pink one, because that stuff and that black dot, because it shadows through. And I would say this too, it's not your aqua net, so you just want a little bit of spray. Sometimes I need to prime the pump. Do you hear that? It's barely coming out. It was like shh, so light. So I'm going to lay this down, and we're going to put down both our batting. Oh, this is a big piece. I didn't cut that right, but I'm just using it. It's fine. I'm going to center this. So I have this batting is so thin. I use Hobbs 80/20, and it'll be fine. There we go. So we are ready to go. We are going to skip a couple of steps. We are going to skip. Whoop. Let me grab that. I am so ecstatic about my whole sewing room right now. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited about it. That is the tack down for your batting, and then you trim. I'm not going to do that because it's kind of cut to size. This is the placement for your background. This is the tack down for your background. We are going to do that. When you want to do a contrasting color, don't do white because it's hard to see and it's going to be hard to fussy cut. This is going to be in your seam anyway, so I'm just going to leave the medium brown because you're not going to see it. Tickle your fabric. And then you're going to do your quilting, and quilting color does make a difference, and it is calling for linen. So get your linen thread, and I've said it like a million times during this project. I love the contrast of the linen with the white, and I might forever use linen. Linen's one of those colors, the glide colors that you use a lot with Kimberbell. I usually have 2 spools going. I should buy a king cone of it because I use so much of it. Look at your screen. Make sure you're there. If you didn't, you want to fast forward through, and that's what you should be stitching. And how do you get there if you don't know? Again, you're going to go to this button right here where you go forward and backward stitches. And then you're going to just go until you see the green. The green is usually, it's not telling you to put a green color in. It's just telling you that's the quilting stitch. And this is 2 minutes of stitching. I'm going to get you guys up on my computer so I can see. looks like we need... that. I think... What is my light copper? So next thing we're going to do after we're done with the quilting is we are going to do, after quilting, go to the embroidery, load the embroidery file onto the machine and stitch the Gingerbread Man placement line, and it's asking you for that light copper, so let me go and grab that. I was using a lot of these same colors in my Thanksgiving, Janine Babbage Thanksgiving project. So I like to show people this too. I do not pull back. I normally don't pull back. I unthread, so I'm just going to take it like this, unthread it here, and thread it here, and then right here it just falls right out. This is where your tension disc is. Make sure that your foot is not down. That means your foot is down, and that tension disc here is closed. Make sure your foot's up. It opens up your tension disc, unthread it, and just take it out. So you do not have to cut it here, pull it at the needle. Just go ahead and unthread it and take it out. And let's go. And this thing here, close it when you do your embroidery, because sometimes every once in a while that thread will just throw up a loop. It'll get caught in that. Next thing you know, you're breaking a needle. You don't know what's going on. You think your machine is broken. Okay, placement line and color does make a difference. It will tell you if you see this, color makes a difference. If you see this square with the lines through it, color doesn't make a difference, or they want you to use a neutral color. And I'm going to grab some gingerbread felt. Of course, I can't help myself. The first thing I need to do is I need to look through my scrap bin. And let me make sure the color's the same. I have all of this. I gotta use it. Is the color the same? Yeah, it's exactly the same. I'm gonna use this first. And felt's like, I don't want to say gummy, but it's like, it doesn't slide around. So I'm just going to put this down. And let's see if it says trim to the stitch, then you can just have it right over the edge. If it's trimmed as desired, you want it to be at least 1/4 inch outside that stitch line. So it says place the gingerbread man felt, trim the felt as desired. So I'm going to just go ahead and place this down here and make sure I'm like past that line, which I am. And I'm not even going to spray it down. I'm just going to load it. Load it. And go ahead and stitch. And trim as desired. For me, that means I want my curved straight scissors. I'll get those in a minute. Curved straight. That's going to get one curve over the edge of your hoop and this straight so you can control your lines. What is everyone working on? What are we working on? You better be ready. We've got a lot of classes and sew-alongs we're going to be doing. So eat your vitamins. Get your rest. I'm going to do the Janine Babbage as just a sew-along. If you want to do that with us, get your stuff ordered. Here we go. And for me, trim as desired means I like to do about 1/8 of an inch away. Remember how I said I was going to take my scan and cut to Salt Lake? I didn't. And every time I cut, I feel guilty. I'm like, why am I not using my scan and cut? I think it was Margie who told me, she's like, "I'm 80, if I'm using my skin and cut, you can too." And I keep thinking about that, like, what is my problem? Patrick wants me to go out tonight with a friend and his new girlfriend and to a concert and then dinner. And all I could think about when I got up this morning is I can't wait to go to bed. Do you ever? I'm like, I can't wait to go home, get home, jump in bed, cuddle with the dogs, watch TV. But instead, I'm going to be at some concert, pretending like I'm not done with fun. It's one of those things where I don't want to go out, but then I go out. I'm like, oh, that was really fun. I should go out more. And then I always forget that I liked going out and I liked having fun. And then I have to remind myself. Trying to get my printer with my computer. Oh, yeah, you need to be able to print out your instructions. You can also just have it on your computer, right? I just got one of these, and can I tell you, I love it. So this is my, do you see this like elevated stand? And so everything's up there, and I love it because it's kind of up and out of the way. You can put your instructions on like something like that. It makes a huge difference just not having it on the tabletop, just having it like up like that. I need to relax and have fun. Go out and relax. Debbie, I'm such a bad relaxer. Patrick's not kidding when I'm like, he talks about me just freaking out all the time. How's that? I took my hoop out. I am queen of saying to fluff your fabric and then forgetting. So make sure you fluff it if you have it there, if you have another embroidery added on. How do you store your magnets when hoop not in use? A lot of times I will leave them on my hoop, or I'll just put them all together and I have a cup that I stick it in. So, but a lot of times, like my 7x12, I can see it right now. I have the magnets on it and I just store it with them on. So, next. That's raw edge applique. So we just did this step. We just trimmed. Now we're going to stitch the branch fill. The color I'm using is Pink Lemonade. Here's my Pink Lemonade. This is next. So go ahead and do that. And it's going to do the little branch on top of her head. Take out your thread just like I showed you. I need to practice. I need to practice relaxing. Isn't that crazy? I do need to practice, but you know why I can't? Because I go, oh my God, I have so much to do. There is so much I want to do. Red light. See the red light? See the little latch? Green light. I forget to put that down a lot. Who's a good relaxer? Are any of you good relaxers? Do you think retirement helps relaxing? I'm hoping that's what does it for me. Someday, don't worry, it's not anytime soon. I'm going to be with you for a while. Oh my God, these are really quick. I think I'm going to be able to do these and we'll do the borders and everything. Because this is like an 8-minute stitch out. It's cute. Next color. It is, I don't remember what that one is. I'm going to have to look through my other ones to see. Olive green. I think it's going to be basil. Let's see what I put in my other. Oh, you know what? Aloe. And I'm just looking back at my other pages, but I have that one as aloe. And I'll write them in right now if I can find a pen. So go ahead and find your aloe. Aloe, aloe, aloe. Here we go. So here's aloe. No, because you retired, but I can relax with sewing. Shelly says you don't think retirement helps. You know, I talk a lot to a lot of people that they tell me now that they're retired, they are busier than ever. Because then I think but I hope that busy is more busy doing, you know, whatever it is you want to do when you want to do it. But I know it's not always that case, right? Delta relaxes with her sewing. Rebecca, I worry about that because I find that the more free time I have, the more time I waste. And that the busier I am, the more scheduled I am, the more efficient I am. But that makes sense that you would be like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. I think I'm going to forever have to do live feeds. Because then I'm accountable and then I have to deliver. Because if it's just me, I think I'd be like, oh, let me just sleep a little longer. Let me just sit here and pet the dog. Cute. Next color, it's going to be the red with a heart in it. And that's the deep red. So your deep red is it ruby? What is our deep red? See what happens when I step away? Ruby. Yeah, so grab your ruby thread. I used ruby in the Janine Babbage stitch out. My poor puppies, I feel like they're so neglected. Because I'm like, oh, come sit with me while I know they do it on purpose. Poppy will try to shut my laptop cover or just step on the keys or just push it away. Here we go. Ruby. So we're putting in our ruby and we're going to stitch the berry fill. And guess what? It'll be a perfect place to put rhinestones. Good morning, Barb. I think I sent something out to you yesterday. Here's our berries. And then the last thing we're going to need is linen, and we're going to stitch the gingerbread man detail. So get your linen. Are you stitching with us, Miss Barb? What's everyone working on? Miss Molly, you working on this? Barb, I felt bad because I'd sent you a package, I think, the day before, too. And I was like, oh, I hate it when I can't combine shipping. All right, I'm going to take out my ruby. I'm going to put in my linen, and we will be done stitching this one. Whoop. Ah, box of fun, Miss Shelley. And I think you're going to love that little vacuum. So that vacuum that we're sending you, I don't know if you've had like a Simplicity Freedom or a Ricard super light, but that was, we used to have one in the store, and it was like the store vacuum, and at the time I had a Kirby, and like that thing was so heavy. So when I would come in and use that like super light one, I was like, this thing is the best. It was before we owned the store. And the former owner, we had one that came in, it was used. I was like, I'm going to take that and I'm going to buy it. And I brought that home, and I was like, this thing is so amazing. We had just had, I think we just had people come in and paint the house, and they had put tape down to tape down the like the clear plastic. And I was like, well, this vacuum won't do anything to the tape. And I went over the tape, and it like sucked it all up like in an instant. It was like, and it just sucked up the tape. I was like, okay, well, I won't do that again. And things I would have done with my other vacuum, I won't do with the vacuums I have now. So what I'm telling you is don't engage in risky vacuum practices. Don't get close to that sock. Don't get close to the curtains hanging down. Don't be tempted to do that small area rug. It's like super powerful, and it'll just suck it right up. Miss Delta is doing a cuddle quilt. Cute. Barb is waiting for the cookie sew along. Wait, what's the cookie sew along? Am I like, I don't even know what the cookie sew along is. Remind me. Wow, Molly's doing her hand sewing her binding. Okay, tell me this. So I ordered some stocking stuffer stuff, and I ordered these hand binding needles. Literally, the needles are like this long. They're like 4 inches. Is that like, I've never done any hand binding. Is that normal? Do you want like a super long hand binding needle? Oh, the bonus CD. Got it. The bonus CD, just so you know, we usually don't do sew-alongs for that, Barb. So don't wait too long. Just get on it. Okay. There's this one. Let's go ahead and rehoop, and we're going to do the next one. Yeah, is that just crazy, Margie? It's just like, I'm sorry, Molly. It's just, they're so long. I don't even get it. I've never seen binding needles that long. I was like, I've seen upholstery needles and things like that. Anyhow, thought that was interesting. A mug rug fabric kit. We only sell the mug rug fabric kit all together. We're not, I never even thought of that. The idea of just even doing the listings for them all separately is a little daunting for me. So we probably won't have a kit just for one. When I'm not using these, I will do this. I just I put them together like this. I just put all the magnets together, and I have this really cute dish that I got at a craft fair, and I will just pop them in here. So Miss Linda, when I'm not using them, like they either go back on my hoop or they go in that giant mug, that gorgeous mug I have. All right, let's go ahead, rehoop. And that's why you're taking your design and you're not leaving it in the middle. You're bumping it up, and that way you maximize whether it's stabilizer or it is your muslin. Maybe I'll put these on the side first. You're going to maximize what you're using and less waste. Yeah, I didn't even stitch out those little bonus cookies. Miss Dana did that. And Miss Dana's going to be doing her first sew along for us. So excited. All right, let me slide this on the machine. Fluff that gingerbread. Make sure he doesn't get curled under. Just take a peek to the back. I did find there's something weird about my table, and sometimes it, like the way it goes over, it like pushes it under, so just watch for that. You can cut it off if you want. Whatever works for you. And our gingerbread, the next one is going to be the same background quilting. So instead of throwing this design away, let's just go back to the previous screen. So I am going to go, okay. I'm going to hit return. Return takes us to the previous screen. And that's going to save me from going through everything and searching for the background quilting. I want to get rid of, I just separated them out. I want to get rid of this guy. So you want the red boxes and circles around it, and that tells you that's what you have selected. So I'm going to select that one, and I'm just going to touch delete. Now I want that recentered because we're going to bring in the other design centered. So to center that, you don't use your finger and just try and guess. You just go to move. And right down here, you have your move arrows, and that center dot will center your design. Done. And now we're going to add. So to add, we're going to add gingerbread 2. And this is the one that doesn't have the flourish on his head. I don't know what he has on his head. We'll see. Quilty Christmas, embroidery files, PES. Here's my gingerbread cookies file. And he's got a little heart because he just loves you. So let's go ahead and set him. Set. He was brought and centered. We're going to just leave it like that. We're going to touch embroidery. It will combine those two designs so we can move them together. So when you hit embroidery, now what you see on this screen is considered one design. Even though on the previous screen it was 2, that's your one design. My hoop's already on, so I showed you that. We're just going to go layout, move, and just bump them up. There we go. And now we're going to go through the same steps. I'm looking at your comments right now. I think I can do that. Yeah, I'll show them to you. And maybe you guys can tell me what they're for. Well, because I wanted to get all this like stocking stuffer stuff for this store and for you guys. And those showed up and I was like, wait a minute. What are these? Okay, this is the button I like to push. And that's going to allow you to skip, go forward stitches and whole steps because we're going to skip some steps. First stitch out, we're going to go ahead and do that. I have linen in here. I know it's a little harder to see, but I'm just going to leave it. And let's go ahead and spray. Let me grab my fabric. Again, you want the fabric with the little itty bitty dots. Do you see those? That's the fabric that you want. I know this is going to be a little big. Let me just cut it down. Sometimes I'm so lazy and I don't want to do that. I didn't even put this in the system yet, but I just got this ruler and I love it. I was worried that I would put it down and it'd be too small for me to hold or it'd slide around a lot, and it doesn't. I'm just going to cut off oh, hang on. This looks like it's perfect for, no, it's a little big. Let me cut this. I just need like a 1/4 inch off. I'll have grade and I'll put it on the system next week, but I just love it. Okay, again, let's give these a little shot of spray again. There's my little spray tint. And get rid of the icky threads on here. You're going to spray the wrong side. I just always touch it. And the wrong side of this and make sure there's nothing icky on it. Just a little itty bitty bit of spray. Don't go crazy. I know that's a little hard to see, but I'm just going to lay this down. What's that? And then take your background fabric, lay it right down on top. Just center it. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you feel like you're not a good gauge of centering, what I used to do is and this is the right side, I would spray it and then I would fold it in quarters like this. And then I go, okay, that's my center. And I would lay that down in the center and then I would unfold it. But they give you so much fabric that you don't really have to worry about that. You have like a good inch all the way around and you really don't need it. So just lay it down. I am going to change my thread out for this because the linen is too close in color. I like tack down to be in a contrasting color. I'm just going to put in pink lemonade because it just helps you to fussy cut it when you are trimming your blocks down. I find the older I get, the more help I need with my eyes. Do you remember, we're going to fast forward. Tack down for batting, don't need that step. That's step 2. Placement for background, don't need that step. That's step 3. Tack down for the background, you need. Because you want this to kind of be held in place and you don't want the edges to be flipping up. Do you remember your parents coming in and being like, you need light? And you're like, I don't need light. And I just think of that because my daughter is always in the dark. I'm like, you need light. Like in her bedroom, she uses like fairy lights. That's like her light. I don't think she ever uses regular light. Okay, background quilting, linen, or whatever cream color you want to use. Patrick doesn't give me light either. Because I don't know if you know this, but he has, I can't remember what he calls it, but he's got his regular age, and then there's like your biological or your body age. And, he's like, my age is 38 or something. He's like, yours is going to be, I'm 50. So he keeps telling me mine's going to be, 20 years older than it is, or 30 years older. So you are just using muslin in place of any other stabilizer. So I use the muslin as a base, and I don't use it really as a stabilizer if I'm doing something, like let's say it's just a piece of fabric on stabilizer, then I usually don't use the muslin. But because we have our background fabric with Shapelex on the back and batting underneath, it's enough support. So when I do quilted embroideries, like when I'm doing embroideries that are going to be in a quilt and they have all of that, then I use just the muslin as a base to support. When I'm doing something like a tiling scene, I use whatever stabilizer they recommend, because it's so many stitches, you have to have stabilizer. So it really depends on the application. But if I can get away with just muslin, I use it because it's going to iron out beautifully. It doesn't feel as plasticky. I feel like it's just a nicer, more pliable end product. Oh, got it. 6 is out now. I've never. It's the first time we ever did a fabric kit for mug rugs. I've never done one before, so I don't think we're going to be doing 6. I mean 5, but we'll do it from here on out. Okay, let's go to our instructions. So if there's a mug rug 7, we'll put together a kit. Yeah, we just never even really thought about kitting out the mug rugs. This was the first time we did it. Next step. Let's go ahead and turn our page. I got to work on my lighting in here because I changed my room around, so my lighting's a little further away. We just did the quilting, and after quilting, it says go to the embroidery instructions, so we're going to go here. Let's go ahead and put in our light copper, and we're going to stitch out the gingerbread man placement line. So my light copper just happens to be sitting here, and it just happens to be like such a great match for that gingerbread felt. And placement line. And let's grab our felt that we just used. And I'm not even going to give it a little shot of spray. It's pretty just grippy. It'll stay where it needs to stay. This is from my scrap bin. I'm just going to lay it down. You want at least a 1/4 of an inch around everything because you're going to trim as desired. I'm just going to lay it down just like that. And stitch. And I started using muslin with quilted embroidered blocks probably back like when I started doing Anita Good quilted embroideries. Oh, that's close. Oh, but that worked. Get your curved straight scissors. Those are the ones that are going to give you more control and the edge, the curved edge that goes over the edge of your hoop. Okay. That's when my friend came last night. She's like, well, what do I need to get? She's like, she'd never done applique. So I was working on that Janine Babbage quilt. And I was like, let me show you. And I did like, an applique for that. And she's like, well, you need scissors. And I was like, get a pair of double curved, get a pair of snips, and get a pair of curved straight. Just to kind of start you out. And then you can grow into it and maybe get like different sizes. I like about 1/8 of an inch. And this reminds me of like scrapbooking. I don't know if any of you scrapbooked, but I used to use pine cone, the little like inks, and I would ink the edges. And the color, my favorite color was pine cone. I don't know if anyone used that. But that kind of reminds me of this. Like just the edge. You need something on the edge. I don't ink it, but just where it's not like right to the stitch. I think it makes it just kind of stand out a little bit. The straight edge lets you like control your cuts so you don't get the little smiley faces when you cut that you'll get with like a double curved pair of scissors. Oh, little Momo's crying. Let me let him in. All right. There we go. Next step. Slide your hoop on. Fluff your top embroidery. Make sure he's not folded under. And could it be that easy? It just wants us to put in linen. And we're going to do the linen detail. So right here, this is step 3. Then we're going to do the heart. I'm going to do that with aloe. And then we're done. Lickety split. Okay. Let me put in my linen thread. This is going to be 2 minutes of stitching. And I'm going to grab little Momosita. Oh my goodness. Are you guys hearing that? So normally I step away from my phone and my phone is my mic, but I have my headset on. So I'm walking around, drinking coffee, eating my oatmeal, and you're probably hearing me like swallow my food. I'm so sorry. Okay, something new for me to learn. And the mic on this is so good. Okay, here you go. Here you go. This is Momo if you've never met him before. I think I need a couch everywhere. Just so I'm gonna get a new seat at the store because Poppy likes to just sit like right next to me. So I was thinking I'd get like a high back bench. Hi. Okay, get your aloe. You're gonna need that for the heart or whatever green you want to use. That's what I'm gonna use next. I should write in those colors. Let me grab a pen. And I won't continue eating my breakfast. It's amazing to me how hard it is for me to find. I'm going to write in my colors. Okay, so we are going to use, this is light copper, which is like the best match, linen, aloe, and that's it for this one. I'll put in the colors for the previous one, for the gingerbread man that has the flourishes. But again, this one is light copper, pink lemonade, aloe, and ruby, and linen. And I could just write it in here, but this is going to be linen, light copper. This one is pink lemonade. This one is aloe, ruby. And I don't remember what the dark green was. That could be pine or totem. I guess I didn't write it in there. Just seeing if I wrote it in with any of the other. Okay. That one's Totem with the line through it. Totem green. All right. There's your color chart for this. If you bought the thread kit or if you just want to supplement. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put in my aloe for the heart. Here we go. Momo is like, he's so sweet. He is just like a love. And then Poppy's like, I can't believe the whole birth order thing for us. She is the second and she's just wild. I don't know if it's that she's a girl versus boy dog, but she rules the roost. Here we go with the heart. While it's stitching that, let's get our fabric ready for the next one, and we are going to be doing the house. And for this one, you are going to need your background fabric. It's going to be, do you see that? The white on white, tone on tone with the larger dots. And that's what you should have left. If you use the wrong fabric, who cares? It's going to be fine. And it's going to look absolutely adorable if you use the small dot one too. Gingerbread felt house. So we're going to need your gingerbread fabric. And I think that's all that you need for this one. And we're done. It says not to stitch the next step. The next step is for this one. It says right here, do not stitch this step. This line is for design placement only, which always amazes me. I'm like, why do they even bother putting it in there, right? Couldn't they just take it out? So it's there, but don't stitch it out. And how cute does that quilting stitch look behind this too? It's just adorable. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fluff, and we're going to rehoop, and we're going to do the next one. Fluff and rehoop, and I will cut this one off. So normally I only like having one on. When you leave them all on, you just have a bigger chance of it flipping under. So let's go ahead and rehoop. It is easier to grab it from that little lip. Let's pop it out. I'm going to cut this one off. I like to cut them from the back side so I can see how much space I have, and I usually go right in the middle. And like, oh, here, I'll show you an example of why you don't want to use this as just your stabilizer. It doesn't support. See, I have those pulled stitches here in the end. It's nothing with the machine. It's just, this isn't like, it just doesn't hold stuff in place. But that doesn't make a difference because that's just going to be where I'm cutting and trimming it down, and you're not seeing any of that. All the stitches that do count are gorgeous and they look beautiful. And this will press out really beautifully, nice and flat. I know there are some no-show mesh cutaways that melts. People complain about them actually melting, and you don't have to worry about that with this. But this is not, it's not a stabilizer. It is not. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. We're going to bump this up, and when I put this in, I like it to just, a little bit of this showing through tells me that I have it hooped right, like that much. You know, just about 1/4 inch. Because you saw in between this, the embroideries, we probably had about, do we have about 2 inches? And you don't need all that, so. Okay, we're hooped and ready. I'm going to go slide this on my machine. Momo and Patrick have been having such huge love fests. Okay, we're going to need a different background quilting. So since we're going to have to load 2 new designs, let's just hit our home button, and that clears your screen. And I think it was Wavy So this is the spreadsheet. This is something that I put together for the projects. And I think I posted this on Facebook. It's in our Sew Along group, so you can find it there. We're going to, at some point, figure out a way where we can just post these all on our website and you can find them there. But this is like the information that I like to have close by where I don't want to have to flip through all the pages. So I just like looking at this one sheet going, okay, here's our design. That's the page it's on. Here's your stabilizer you're going to use, the quilting design and what size it is, how big to cut your batting so you where it's pre-cut, the color of thread that you're going to be using for your quilting, whether or not you should center your embroidery design to your quilting, because sometimes there's special instructions. So I like to catch that. And then what size hoop might work. And I don't always use this size hoops. Sometimes there's, some people, I was looking at Kimberly and she put all her designs in one hoop, and that's a great way to do it too. And then your final cut size that you're going to trim it to. So we are going to be doing wavy 9 and 4x4 embroidery. Wondering if you got the email. Oh, let me check that, Betty. I'll check that and see. I don't know if I did. So let me go ahead and check that one. Because usually if I get it, I'll respond back saying, got it, got your order. So let me check that. Did you want the 7x12, Betty? So let's go embroidery design, wavy 9. This is the one that we want. And we're going to add our embroidery design, which is going to be house 1. Let's make sure we choose the right, not that it makes a difference, right? It's going to be on the same background fabric and everything. House 1. So this house 1 has the 2 red snowflakes on it. Oh, shoot. I don't want to go to embroidery yet. So that's easy, not a big deal. Just hit return. It'll take you to the previous screen. And this is where you can add. You have to add in your main edit screen. Add, pocket. Betty, if you don't mind, send me another email. And I'll check my list. Embroidery files. And gingerbread cookies. That's the quilt we're working on. And this is the first house. Since I hadn't, I thought that you will do. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Molly, don't you love them? I just love them. All right, so we're centered, ready to go. We're just going to touch embroidery. Embroidery is going to combine these 2 designs. There'll be one design in the next page, and they'll move as one design. And to move that, we're going to go layout, move, and scoot it up. If you have like a Destiny, a Dream Machine, it says edit on both pages. So I always call it your second edit page. I like that in the newer machines, the main edit page has the main editing options, and then the next page is called your layout page because it's easy to differentiate between the two. All right, let's go ahead and say okay, and we're going to touch this button, which is where we go forward and backward stitches. That was another question that my friend Sarah had. She was like, can I go back stitches or go back, go forward? And I was like, oh, look, I'm running out of thread, which is good because I'm trying something new. So I'll show this to you. These are bobbins, and these are from Dime. So Designs in Machine Embroidery. They're the ones that do snap hoops. And this comes in a pack of 36. It's a little bit more economical than the Filtech bobbins. So I thought, I'm going to try these. And if I love them, then I'm going to tell you guys about them. And then you can get them too. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. This is, the Filtech bobbins are a 60 weight. And I don't know what 70D means, but I think that's going to be the weight of the thread. So it's a little bit thinner, but that's fine. You want it to be a little bit lighter in your bobbin than your upper thread. Your upper thread is usually a 40 weight. Most people use a 40 weight. So we're going to try this. See how we like it. And if we like it, it'll just give you another option where maybe you don't want to buy a box of 80, and a tube of 36 is going to be better for you. So our first obstacle is going to be finding the end. Usually you can see it here. Huh. And then I'll do this. Oh, right there. That one was easy. That's kind of nice. It was just right in the middle. I just had to find it. So let's see how we like these. It feels like... I'm going to pull it and make sure I have bobbin tension. Sometimes if it's too light, but that seems good. This is your bobbin tension right here. So if ever you're like, I don't know if I have bobbin tension, you can grab your bobbin and then pull it and make sure you feel that it's not just that it just doesn't come right out. If it comes right out, you're not in your bobbin tension. And sometimes bobbin tension or bobbin cases do go bad. Here we go. This is just a placement line, so I'm not going to go back stitches. If it was a tack down, I would go back stitches and make sure it overlaps. But this is just a placement line. Let's grab our fabric. Remember, you want a piece of 4x4 batting, and you want your background fabric, which is the big polka dot. I'm going to put it in my spray tent. Uh-oh. Mama, quiet. Mommy doesn't want to shut the door. All right, I'm going to put this in my spray tent and give it a little shot of spray. Let me feel the nubby side. Nubby side and fabric. And there's my spray tent. Here are my little reminders. I've been putting them with painter's tape on there. Things I don't want to forget. Whoop. Just like the tiniest bit. Okay, we're going to lay this down. And lay this down. For a minute, I thought I sprayed the wrong side. And I like to feel around it and then press it down. Okay, we're going to skip steps. We're going to skip the tack down of the batting. If you're not cutting your batting to size, you have to do that step and then you're going to trim your batting. But if you're cutting it to size, then skip that step. Placement for your background, tack down for your background. We're going to do it in a contrasting color. You don't have to do that. That's just for, if you're so young and your eyes are so wonderful like Patrick Mulligan, then do whatever color you want. But if your eyes are poo-poo like me, do a contrasting color. Put your linen in. We are going to do our quilting stitch, and this is the wavy one that goes like in a spiral. We're doing great on time. Here we go. Here we go. Again. I think this is what I have left for the last one. I'm going to take that and put it all in my spray tent and just have it ready. But that's going to be for the last embroidery, which does have some like pink accents. Very cute. So since I don't know, the longer I have it laying around, the more chance I have of it disappearing or ending on the floor. I'm going to put it in my spray tent now. Cute. And let's look at our instructions. We are going to pretty much the same as the gingerbread, but we are going to placement stitch, then we're going to lay down our felt, tack down stitch, and then we're going to trim. And then we'll do the linen icing, which you see in this picture. And then we're going to stitch the little hearts. That I think is ruby. And then we'll do the snowflakes. So I love Kimberbell because I love that they give you the written instructions with the corresponding picture. There were a couple of times, because like I said, I haven't done a Janine Babbage pattern in a long time. I've done a ton of the tri-stands, but it's been a long time, and I really had to read those instructions a couple of times, and there were a couple of times where I was like, am I supposed to put down the fabric now? Kimberbell, I think they have the best written instructions with pictures. Here we go. Let's do this, and let's grab our felt to lay down our houses. All right. This is all the same color, right? Yep. Now I'm using the smaller pieces, so now I'll have a big piece in my scrap bin. I don't know if that totally makes sense, but whatever. Is that going to be low enough? Let's scoot it down a little bit. And I'm not even spraying this. I'm just laying it down. Get your curved straight scissors. They make, this is, I think is the 4.5 inch, and I think there's also a 6 inch. Well, I could show you the 6 inch. This is the 6 inch, much bigger, right? But, there's a time and a place for both. And you don't want to trim it right to the stitch, although you can. It actually says as desired. So if you desire it right at the stitch, please go ahead and do that. But like I said, I like to leave about 1/8 of an inch, just kind of as like a little accent. I don't like sharp corners, so I try to round them a little bit. I don't mind a sharp inside corner, but I don't really like a sharp outside corner. Am I so picky? I'm so picky. Poor Patrick. So we went out for coffee, and I ordered the, it was like a new drink when we were in Salt Lake. It was like a pecan latte. Pecan praline? Is that what those are? Is that what it's called? And I said, can you tell them 2 squirts of sweetener instead of 4? They usually put 4. And then when he's standing up there, I said it again, and he looked right at me, but I guess he didn't hear me. So when it came, I was like, it's too sweet. And he was like, too bad or something. So I didn't drink it. And he looked at me and he goes, do you want mine? And he had gotten a hazelnut one, and it was delicious and perfect, just like I like it. And I was like, yes. And he gave it to me. And our friend Steve goes, I would not put up with that nonsense about me. He totally. But anyways, that's the kind of guy Patrick is. He gave me his because I didn't like mine. Okay, we are going to put in the linen. And we are going to stitch out. And you can see this on your screen too. Like if you look at your screen, it's going to show you the stitch out. You can always check there. Most machines will show you. So, do you see that? I know it's hard to see because it's light on just the white screen. He does. He spoils me. And he's not as picky as I am. This is 4 minutes of stitching. So a good time to tidy up. And let's grab your fabric for the next one. Here's my fabric for the next one. And yes, my spray tan is icky. If you guys remember my spray box, remember that I had that disgusting spray box, but I loved it so much. And then Momo stepped all over it, broke all the edges, and I kept using it. And then finally I went, oh, I gotta get rid of that. It was pretty gross. I love this spray tech because I spray and I don't worry about the aerosol like going all over the room. It kind of gets self-contained. As you can see, the spray's all in there. So that's ready for the next embroidery. That's going to be the next house. I don't even know what the borders are. Let's look and see. I've been doing the borders in my, I think I did the last ones in my 7x14. So I could just have that extra, oh no, you know what? I did it in my 7x12. So we could do it in the 7x12. And I think I stitched it right on the edge. And it was only a couple of hoopings. I mean, this is going to be tiny. So let's take a look and see what fabric we need for the borders. I have not been cutting it down. I've just been using it all in one piece. What time is it? It's noon. So it looks like our border fabric is the pink with the candy canes. The binding is going to be the plaid. So let me grab that. This is all I have left. I gotta do my mini quilts. I'm way behind with mini quilts. And I refuse to not get those done. So I think this is going to be the binding. And it's been 2.5. I've been cutting it down. I am a 2 1/4 kind of girl for my binding strips. Yeah, 2.5. So I will cut this down to 2 1/4. And then this looks like our border fabric, which is selvage to selvage. I don't know if we need all of that. And I'm not gonna do more than I need to do, so I'll measure it out. Maybe we do need all of that. We'll see. This is gonna be tiny. It's like itty bitty. Since we had our little quilting session, oh, do we have that quilting session on? Okay, we are going to have, like, these embroideries will have a little bit of a border. But these are, I mean, we're going to do 4 inches plus another inch. So these are going to be like 10 inches by 10 inches. That's pretty small. 10 inches by 10 inches, but I think if we do this whole thing, we'll have enough, because usually these are going to be what? We're going to need 8 inches, so 16 plus 20. So I think we're only going to need 36. So we'll do the whole thing. Hopefully that'll be enough. Let me see if they ask us. I guess I could read the instructions. Okay, let's put in our ruby. Let's make sure it's not wildflower. Hearts are, yes, hearts are ruby. Red squares with circles are wildflower. Whoop, missed it. Missed my cutter. You always want to cut. That's going to cut it to the most appropriate length for your threader. If you leave a big old loop, you're always going to be pulling it through. So cut it on the side. That is the last step of your, so you're threading, that's step number 6, the quilt bar. This is step number 7, and then this is step number 8 on the side cutting. Cute heart. So right now we're doing the hearts, and then we're going to do the snowflakes. I'm going to write in our colors. So we've got light copper. This is linen. Ruby. Just go ahead and hit start again. We just did the heart fill. Now we're going to do the snowflake fill in that same ruby. I'm just going to hit my start button. And then this bottom one is going to be pink lemonade. And you know, they give you that stop so you could put a different color in if you want to. You don't have to do these in these colors. This is one of those things that I'll watch just to make sure I'm not seeing, any bobbin thread come up. I mean, if you did, you'd see white on the edges, but it looks really, really good. I was just thinking I'll come home and I'll finish this after work. But my extroverted side said, yes, I'll go out tonight. That's the hardest thing about going out. It gets in the way of my sewing and my crafting. And I don't like that sometimes. Get your pink lemonade thread ready. Okay, let's change out our thread. Let's change it out. I guess I could be doing stuff while this is going on, right? Why am I just sitting here? I was just sitting there kind of zoning out, daydreaming. Okay, I'm going to heat up my iron and let's get my binding strips ready. Like, why not? I could be pressing out I was literally just sitting there daydreaming with like, if you could have seen the inside of my brain, it was like a pitch black room with a flickering light bulb. That was what was going on over there. Okay, my iron's heating up, but I'm going to get my binding strip ready to go. Might as well. And this one's done. Don't do that last step. So we are done with this. Let's go ahead and take it out. We're going to rehoop, and then I am going to be efficient, and I am going to multitask. And I'm not going to sit with like a flickering light bulb in my brain. I'm going to cut off the top one. And I'm going to do it from the back side so I can see how much room I have between my embroideries. And I like to go right down the center. And if you cut the fabric, that's fine too. This is all extra. That's not going to make a difference. And let's rehoop. So here we go. And even if we didn't have enough, you could put your fabric up here and then fit it in. But we have plenty of fabric for another hooping. Here we go. I don't know why I'm doing it down further because I really won't be able to do anything with this little piece of fabric. But maybe if I had a filler block, I could fit something else in, but I don't. And I don't even worry that it doesn't cover like the entire magnet. It's perfect, just like that. All right, I'm going to slide this on my machine. Slide it on. My iron should almost be heated up. Let's come on back over here. Squeaky arm. And we're not going to go home because we want to keep our quilting design. Say okay to get to the main layout page. And I'm going to hit return to go to the previous page. I just want to get rid of the house. Oops. So that one, since I touched it and it's highlighted, I can just hit delete. I'm going to recenter this one by touching edit, move, and there's my little circle. And then I'm going to add the other one. And we're going to add the other house. So we're going to go to our USB, to Quilty Christmas, and my embroidery files. And we're doing gingerbread cookies, and we're doing this house right here. And hit set. They come in centered. So to combine them, we're just going to touch embroidery, and they'll be combined on your layout page. And we have our hoop in, so we're just going to touch layout, move, and scoot it up. If you do that in your embroidery page, it will just move one of the designs unless you group it. If you do it in the layout page, everything you see here on the, even if I had like 3 different designs or 4 different designs, if I go to move it, it's going to move the whole thing because it sees it as one design once you get to your layout page. Go ahead and say okay and stitch away. So first thing is going to be the placement stitch for the batting. My batting's already sprayed and ready to go. And we're going to put down our batting, and we're going to put down our background fabric. If you haven't sprayed it, spray it now. If you do not like spray, just use tape. You can tape it down. Some people put their batting down. They don't use anything because batting's kind of like the felt. It doesn't really move too much. And here is my background fabric. And I like to kind of feel around, just make sure it's not like way off target. And we're going to skip some steps. So on this page, we can go to the minus and plus. We're going to skip the tack down for the batting because we cut to size. We're skipping the background placement because we already laid it down. And we're going to do the tack down of the placement, which if you've combined your designs like I did, it's step number 4. So usually with these, you're doing step 1 and 4 and you're skipping 2 and 3. It's going to be different when you have filler blocks. With filler blocks, it's usually step 1 and 3. Let's go ahead and put your linen in, and we're going to do the quilting stitch. And if I go fast for you, it's because I'm trying to get to the store. It's because I'm trying to do the next project, and I'm trying to do my UFOs, and I need to do Hello Sunshine and Picasso pants. And tiled stockings. Okay, I'm going to stop listing it because you get the point. And plus it overwhelms me. All right, and what's great is if you watch these back later, you can pause. You can go, okay, I didn't get through that step. Let me pause. Like, how lucky are we to have, like, just instruction at our fingertips. I just love it. I love it for me when there's something I'm trying to do and I'm learning, like when I'm cooking and I don't know the recipe. So that is the quilting stitch, and after your quilting, you're going to go to the embroidery instructions, and right here, we're going to do placement for the house, lay the house down, tack down for the house, trim, and then there's going to be applique for the door and the window, placement, lay the fabric down, tack it down, and trim, and then we're going to do all our regular stitching. So let's go ahead and get started with that. First is going to be the, I'm going to take out my linen fabric, thread. We're going to put in the light copper. We're going to do the felt. That's our first step. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be doing these 4 embroideries, and then I will do the, I'll do the binding. I'll do it this weekend. I'll do the rest of it. And yes, don't sit here, Jeannie. Get up and go press your binding. Let me grab my fabric. What do I have that's going to work for this? Is this going to work? What about this scrap right here? Does this work? Oh my goodness, it's like it was made for it. Like this piece was just waiting all this time to be used. Let's check this part and make sure. What about this over here? Nope. Here we go. Is my foot tight? Yes, rock solid. What is the video that you made on the binding machine listed under? Was it a wire binding or maybe it was Achilles? If you send me a note, I'll see if I can find it, but I would just type in wire bind, like go to our YouTube page and just type in wire binding, 2 words. And I think it'll pop up. Okay, let's trim it. Make those corners nice and round. Make them pretty. You can make them sharp. Maybe you like them like that better. I'll try not to be so bossy. Look at me telling you what to do. It was so hard for me. Like I drove back to Salt Lake with Violet, and she likes to just stay in the fast lane. And then other cars had to like go around us. But I don't want to be like bossy and be like, tell her what to do with her driving. So, but probably like halfway there, I was like, so do you always stay in the fast lane? This is like the passing lane. And she's like, yeah, but then I don't have to move back and forth. And I was like, well, you're kind, because, she can get like a little snippy with me sometimes. Okay. Color doesn't make a difference. I'm just going to leave the light copper in there. But then after I said it, she moved over into the traveling lane and out of the passing lane. I was like, somebody might get road rage and be really upset. And here's our piece of pink. It should be stabilized with fusible woven on the back. I'm just going to lay it down. I already sprayed it. and color doesn't make a difference, and there will be a satin stitch, so I'm just going to leave the light copper in. This you're going to trim to the stitch. So get a pair of double curved. Either your snips, your regular double curved. Since I have to do a circle, I'm just going to take it off and swing it around. And you want to get close. You don't want to cut your stitches, but you want to get close enough because you don't want those edges, the threads peeking up underneath your satin stitch. Okay, we are going to put in, what was the green with the line? The green with the line was totem. Let me grab my totem. Here we go. It's this darker green right here, so I'm going to put that in. And the green with the, is it a hexagon in it? That's going to be your aloe. Whoops. Got the right green out and then put the wrong green in. Honestly, I'm sitting here and I lost the green. Oh, here it is. I couldn't see it. The camera was, my camera was in the way. My phone, which I film on, sits in between me and what you see here. Okay, here are your hearts. And then we're going to do the snowflakes with the aloe and the pink. And this is just a minute of stitching. It's pretty quick, so I'm just going to stay right here. Let me see if my iron's hot. It's hot and off. I'm pressing my binding. Oh, you know what? Wrong. I need to cut my binding down. I gotta cut off 1/4 of an inch. Let me put that to the side. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put in my aloe, and it's gonna stitch out the green in the snowflakes. It's dinner time. Good Amish cooking. Okay, what is good Amish cooking? I don't even know. Patrick is from State College, Pennsylvania, so he's really close to Amish country. But I don't even know what's good Amish cooking. It's like it's lunchtime here. Here we go, snowflakes. This is going to be 3 minutes of stitching. And I will be right back. I'm going to run to the ladies' room. I'm leaving my headset here, so you're not in the bathroom with me. What do we got? We still have to do another whole snowflake, so let's trim this down first. Binding strips ready to trim. I'm going to just take a quarter of an inch off of this. So we're going to, and what's easier, taking a quarter inch off or measuring 2 1/4? Okay, my love. I'm going to just take the quarter inch off. The creative grids are nice because it's grippy on the end. There's like that texture on the edge of it. Let me just take that off. Whoop. Probably a smaller ruler might be better. Hang on just a second. Ooh. Do gingerbread one first, then do the others. Okay. There we go. Now I'm trimmed down to my 2 1/4, which is what I like. And then we'll iron this. Okay, I am ready for a thread change, and I think we're just going to be putting in our pink. So let me look at my instructions. Yes, we're going to do pink lemonade. Pink lemonade. Hi, Miss Cat. Miss Cat, did you just need that fat quarter and then we're ready to ship? I don't know if you saw my note this morning. Oh, this block is so sweet. So sweet. With the little snowflakes, and it'll be even cuter when we do all the satin stitching. So I think we're gonna need, right now we're doing the snowflake fill 2, and then we're gonna do the window and door outline. So we're gonna leave this pink lemonade in for step 7 and 8. And then we'll put the linen in to do the house icing. It's gonna be icing on the house. All right, and while we do that, because I can't just sit around, we're going to press our binding strips. Sometimes I'll use Best Press, but for this, I think we're just fine. And I mean, there's really good products out there, right? To press your binding. Oh, I'm just going to hit start on my machine. You're not going to see it, but it's just doing the satin stitch in that same pink lemonade. I need to finish my pumpkins and potions. It's sitting here and it needs rhinestones. And I was thinking to myself, for those of you that have finished with the bats, I refuse to hand sew those on. So I was thinking, should I sew them on before I layer? But then when I layer and I go to stitch in the ditch, some of the bats are going to be in the way. Or should I layer, stitch in the ditch, and then sew my bats on and go through all the layers, the top, the batting, and the backing? And I was thinking that's what I'm going to do. What did you guys do? Did you sew the bats on before you layered? Or did you hand sew the bats on? Or did you sew the bats on after you layered? So the stitching went through all the... Because I'm sewing them on with my sewing machine for sure. I'm not going to hand sew. I'm going to machine sew them down. I know you guys are like, you're not done with that yet? Nope. See? Sitting right here. With my backing. Here it is right there. You guys know all my dirty secrets. Like that I don't finish anything. I do finish some things. But... And then I also find the further away I am from the project, the more unmotivated I am. Here we go. Binding. And... Okay. We need to put our linen in, and then it's going to stitch out the icing. My filming arm likes to pop up unless I have it set a particular way. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's the sad part, is that I'm so close to being done. So why aren't I done yet? Especially now that I am a rhinestone queen. Can't blame it on that. Icing. Icing on the cake. Barb, are you saying that pumpkins and potions is your favorite? Your favorite quilt? Okay, so your SF101, yeah, I'm not sure. I put SF101 on all of my quilt blocks before I stitch, and I do it with steam. So I think if you're going to get any shrinkage, you're going to get it then. I'm going to settle. So you're going to do the back. You're going to do them by hand. Oh my God, of course you are. That's the right way of doing it. Oh, you love this one, Bar. It's sweet. Yeah, I gotta cut that thread. It's so sweet. Here, look at it up close. This will make us happy. So the best press, I feel like when you do the best press, you'll get shrinkage there, and then when you apply the shape flex, if you're going to get any shrinkage, you'll do it there. But I use steam when I'm doing the best press. Do I do water? Like, I'll spray it with water, because I feel like it adheres better. But you guys heard I just got my heat press, so I'm going to try and do my shape flex with the heat press next time. Michelle told me it's so fast to put your shape flex on with the heat press. And I was like, all right, I'm getting it. Yeah, I stabilize my fabric with Best Press. And so I actually don't use steam. So I never put water in my iron. And I'll Best Press the fabric. And then when I put the Shape Flex on, I will spray it with water. And so I think if I'm going to get any shrinkage, that's where it is. I'll get it at that point. Will be your witness using the heat press in case. I was like, I'm going to get the heat. I'm going to get a what do you call it? The heat press. And Patrick's like, okay, do what you want, basically. I used to, yeah, I never put water in my iron anymore because I feel like it gets icky. So I just use a spray bottle. Okay, I'm confused. I have this here too. I wonder if we need 2 pieces. Did you guys have to sew it together? Because I did this one. And I have this left. How wide is this? Let me measure it. Probably need... We're not going to need all of that. Maybe I'll cut it in half. Oh, you need 2 of them. 2, please. Okay, I'm not done yet. Oops. I am not sure what happened. Hang on just a second. My machine's rebooting. It literally just shut off. Okay, before it starts moving around, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to pull it a little bit long so I have a little tail. And pull it long here. But my machine's shut off. Everything's shut off. I'm going to cut the thread underneath as well so it doesn't drag it all around. Woo. Right. Here we go. It's rebooting for some reason. But what's great about these machines, it'll ask me if I want to resume. So if you lose power, which I have no idea what just happened, you should get a message on your screen that says okay to recall and resume previous memory. Just say okay. I'm going to slide my hoop back on. And I am going to go back 10 stitches. So this is where we go. And I'm going to go minus 10. That'll go back 10 stitches. And let's finish that off. That was a little odd. Kat, my vacation was amazing. I mean, I just love being with the kids. And it takes me a little while. Like, it takes me a little while to unwind and get out of work mode. So, you know, I'm still thinking about the store and everything that's going on at the store for the very, very beginning. And then probably by, like, day 4, I'm like, ooh, I didn't even check my email today. I don't know how you guys are, but it's hard to switch off work mode. For me. fun being with the kids. And I like feeling useful. I like feeling like, oh, I'm doing something for my babies. What's this big thread here? That needs to go. How are things on the East Coast? Are like things going back to normal after the hurricanes? And the last step, we're not going to do. I think that's just like a placement step or something like that. So I'm going to go. This is going to drive me crazy. He's got to go. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And yes, Barb, I would agree. This one is the sweetest, isn't that? And you want to cut all your jump threads. You don't want to leave that. It doesn't look as nice with them. And this is where I'm going to leave it. So I will go ahead and do the quilting of my, maybe I can sneak home early. And, but don't count on it. I will probably do this over the weekend. I'll do the quilting on this, but I will definitely put this together all weekend. I'm motivated when I just start the project. It's when I step away from it for a long time. So we'll do the quilting and the assembly. The binding strip, I should have sewn the other one. I just cut it down to 2 1/4. So I'll sew it to this one and go ahead and press the rest of that. And so we'll put it all together sometime this weekend. I will film it. I will send it out. And next Friday, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to revisit. So I'll either work on, because I don't think I have a project really in the queue. I think I'm going to do Hello Sunshine or Quilting Through the Seasons. We're going to do one or the other of that. So maybe I'll send a note out and we'll do some, I'm feeling Hello Sunshine coming on. So, have a great day and be creative. I'm going to head to the store and this will load to YouTube and I'll add it to the group. And I think this is it. This will be the end of a quilty little Christmas wall gallery because this is the last one. And thank you so much for joining me for these. I will post the rest of the videos for the completion of this and we will see you later. Bye, guys. Where is my in button? Here we go.